Chapter 1. I have to ask you something. How smart do you think dolphins are? I always figured they were somewhere between chimpanzees and NFL linebackers. Then I had a weird experience with dolphins that totally changed my mind. Not that having weird experiences is a big deal to me. Once a volcano goddess in Hawaii put a curse on me. Another time, a bratty girl ghost named Wanda trashed our apartment. And I also met a boy who turned out to be my son from the future. He was on a time tour bus with his school class. Stuff like that. Oh, by the way, my name is Zack. I'm 10 and a half, and I go to the Horace Hyde White School for Boys in New York City. There aren't a whole lot of dolphins here. The dolphins I met lived in Florida. My dad and I drove down there over spring vacation. My dad is a freelance writer. That means he works at home, sitting at his desk all day and staring out the window. He calls that roughing out ideas. People give him money for it. When I do it in school, they call it not paying attention. People give me detention for it. Anyway, getting back to Florida, Dad was going there to write an article for Fruit Growers Digest about the world's largest orange. This orange was about the size of a basketball. That's bigger than the ones we usually get at our supermarket in New York City. The town where they grew this orange was near a tiny motel and amusement park called Mel and Shirley's Wonderful World of Dolphins. We were staying there because Mel and Shirley are really old friends of my grandma Leah. It seemed like the trip was never going to end. Finally, we turned off the turnpike onto a smaller road. In 5 more minutes, we were there. On the roof of the motel was this neon sign in the shape of a smiling dolphin. The words "4 shows daily" blinked on and off in the neon water spout above the neon dolphin's head. Near the motel, there was a little roller coaster track with only 2 tiny bumps in it. It wouldn't have even scared a baby, but they called it the Screamer. There were some kiddie rides with cars in the shape of dolphins. And of course, they had this big dolphin pool. Mel and Shirley were playing a game of Scrabble by the dolphin pool. "We've been waiting for you," said Shirley. She came right over and began kissing me and Dad all over the place. Dad took our bags out of the car, but Mel brushed Dad away and took them from him. "Mel, I can carry those," said Dad. "Get out of here," said Mel. "You think I'm an old man or something?" They put our stuff in one of the little motel cabins. Then we all went into the front office so Shirley could give us a snack before bedtime. On the walls were all kinds of framed photographs of Shirley with Mel in the pool. They were horsing around with 2 tiny dolphins. "These are pictures of Ralph and Fluffy when they were babies," said Shirley. Aren't they adorable?" said I said they were. Ralph and Fluffy are their dolphins. I personally doubt I'd name the dolphin Fluffy. I mean, what's fluffy about a dolphin? Nothing, that's what. Later, Dad told me that Fluffy was the name of a favorite cat of Shirley's that had died. So I guess that explains it, except maybe not. Zack, would you like to meet Ralph and Fluffy? Shirley asked. I'd love to, I said. Shirley took me back outside to the edge of the dolphin pool. There were bleachers around it like at SeaWorld, only a lot smaller. It was pretty dark out, but you could see Ralph and Fluffy swimming round and round. Ralph, Fluffy, Shirley called. Come on, kids. Say hello to Zack. Both dolphins stopped swimming. They stuck their heads out of the water and made this really funny noise. Whistles and sort of clicks. Then they waved their flippers at me. Cool. This was the first time I'd seen real live dolphins and not on some TV nature show. Very nice, kids, cried Shirley. Very nice. Zack, throw them some treats. Shirley handed me a bucket. It was filled with dead fish. Go ahead, said Shirley. I wasn't crazy about touching that fish. I really wasn't. But I also didn't want to be rude. I reached into the bucket. I grabbed two slimy dead fish and threw them into the pool. The dolphins caught them in their mouth and gulped them down. Very nice, kids, cried Shirley. Creak, creak. The dolphins chirped. They looked very pleased with themselves. One of the dolphins swam right up to the edge of the pool. It waved at me again with its flipper. So I waved back. It was the only polite thing to do. Then I can't be absolutely sure of this, but it looked like it winked at me. Can dolphins wink? I was going to ask Dad about that, but I was too sleepy. When I woke up the next morning, Dad had already left to interview the world's largest orange. Well, actually, the guy who grew it. I told Dad I wanted to hang out at the motel anyway. Ralph and Fluffy were doing their first show at 10 a.m. I got to the dolphin pool a little early to get a good seat. I didn't have to rush. Besides Mel, I was the only person in the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, Shirley said into a microphone, welcome to Mel and Shirley's wonderful world of dolphins. Let's have a big round of applause for the stars of our show, Ralph and Fluffy. I clapped very hard. So did Mel. I guess that counted as a round of applause because I outswam Ralph and Fluffy. Shirley had the dolphins do a whole lot of tricks. They did some somersaults in the air. They swam on their backs. They tossed a basketball into a net. Michael Jordan didn't have anything to worry about, but they were pretty good for amateurs. Would somebody in the audience like to give Fluffy a hug? Shirley asked. She looked around like there was this big crowd. How about you, young man? she said, pointing to me. Well, sure, I said. I guess so. I came down from the bleachers to the edge of the pool. Good, said Shirley. Lean over the side of the pool. Make a big circle with your arms. Floppy will rise up into the circle and you will hug her. Okay, I said. Make the circle with your arms now. Like this? Yep. Now lean over the side of the pool. Fluffy rose right up into my arms. She put her head on my shoulder. I hugged her. It was a nice feeling. She felt like rubber, smooth, wet, silver rubber. Suddenly, I lost my balance and fell into the pool. Kerplash. Before I knew it, I was underwater. The water was freezing cold, but I happened to be a pretty good swimmer, so even with my clothes and shoes on, I was okay. Suddenly, I felt something underneath me, pushing me upward, pushing me to the surface. That's when the weird thing happened. This soft voice that was mine sounded inside my head. I've got you, dear. You're safe. Then my head was out of the water. A second later, I scrambled out of the pool. Zack, are you all right? Yelled Mel. Sure, I said. A little wet is all. About 1,000 gallons of water poured off me. Are you really okay, Zack? Shirley asked. Of course, I said, emptying my sneakers. But you want to hear something weird? When I was underwater, I think Fluffy talked to me. Well, of course she talked to you, said Shirley. She whistles, she clicks, she makes all kinds of sounds. I don't mean whistles and clicks, I said. It was a voice inside my mind. Mel and Shirley looked at each other. Mel laughed and shook his head. Hey, get out of here. What did Fluffy say? Asked Shirley. I've got you, dear. You're safe, I said. Hey, get out of here, said Mel again. Shirley gave Mel a dirty look. Mel, she said, will you please let the young man talk? Who's not letting him talk? Said Mel. I'm letting him talk. I'm just saying, hey, get out of here, that's all. Zack, said Shirley, some people think that dolphins communicate with each other by some kinds of ESP. It's just that I never heard of dolphins speaking to a person. Not till now, I said.